Peace. It's Equality Fragrances coming to you from PG County, Maryland. Welcome to my cipher. A cipher is a person, place, a thing within my circumference. The understanding of my cipher is peace. For all those returning to the cipher, I humbly appreciate your support. For all those new, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified when I drop some new videos. Support the channel. Now with that being said, come on in, sit down, and let's build. So, today, I'm ready to give my full and honest review on the fragrance from Navitus Parfums, and this fragrance is Absolutio. For those who don't know, this is a fragrance branded by Steven from Red Essence, who, while working with other perfumers, helped bring this brand to life. This is one of his fragrances that he dropped 1 out of 7, I believe. And this is one I decided to blind buy. I paid, and wasn't sent to me, 195 stripper ones for this, as T. Ward would say. So, if anybody didn't see my first impressions of the video, a link will be in the description on my first impressions and what I initially thought of it. But after spending almost a week with this fragrance every day and taking extensive notes, I'm ready to give you an honest review on this. So with that being said, let's get down to it. First, let me get to the con of this fragrance. When this was being pushed out and was being discussed, and many experienced noses and reviewers smelt this, the mere fact that the similarity, however slight, to Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait, or even if you think the EDP is similar, wasn't mentioned, that's bothersome, and it felt like a little disingenuous. Because when reviewers can review Instant Crush and get that vibe, but cannot get the vibe with Absolutio, when almost 4 to 5 of the key notes in 540 Extrait are similar, if not identically the same, that's crazy to me. And the reason why that matters is because had I known that when listening to the early reviews, I probably would have went for the tobacco. I was going to support regardless, but I probably would have spent my money on the tobacco on a blind buy instead. So that was my one and only con to this. Let's get to the pros. The pro, okay? Let's just start from the top. You know, if you follow me or you don't know, you're going to learn real quick. Let's discuss the bottle, something I can care less about, but we'll discuss it. This is sturdy, heavy, thick, premium glass. If you want to say it's similar to Roja, I can see what you mean. I can't totally agree, but I get it. But I don't care. This cap, sturdy. Bottle, nice and thick. And the atomizer on this rivals that of Dior. Like, check this out. Look at that. Man. So, bottle and presentation of the bottle. Check. Let's go with what I enjoy the most, which is the perfume that's inside. So when I initially did the review and I smelt this probably for the first 2 days of living with it, it almost was really eerily similar to Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait. But that's because I wasn't getting the chocolate and caramel in the base, and I wasn't picking up the apple and toffee as much. but I was getting the cinnamon, which adds a bit of spice to it with the saffron. It's a nice spice. So even when I was getting the similarity to Baccarat Rouge Extrait, it was still different because that cinnamon up top added an extra kick, and this is sweeter than Baccarat Rouge Extrait. I even went to Neiman Marcus and compared them. And I've also had a sample of that. So I lived with that for some time to kind of see the similarities of it. On the third day, this is why when you watch a first impression, take it for what it is, which is a first impression and not the final result of the review. Because on the third day, when I was making a decant for a friend of mine, I can smell the apple and the toffee in the air. Man. So I went from saying this is hardly a gourmand to eventually getting, okay, it's the gourmand. And the thing is, you have to, on paper, I was getting it. In the air, I was getting it. But on skin, I wasn't. But once I got it and it went into my brain, I literally pick it up every time. So in the opening, you're going to get this cherry almond, the saffron sweetness, similar to Baccarat Rouge, or even Oud for Greatness, the kind of saffron. I'm talking about the saffron. And then the spice of the cinnamon with the apple, with the toffee, like candy apple, cherry. Oh, man. Okay, I get the gourmand elements of it. Now, what I don't get yet is the chocolate and caramel. And that must not play a heavy dose, because when I think of caramel, I think of Lyra, I think of Mula Mula. When I think of chocolate, I think Chocolate Greedy, I think Choco Violette, I think Black Phantom by Killian. This is the kind of chocolate that comes to my mind when I see chocolate in a note, and I wasn't getting that type of chocolate. But in the dry down, you get this salty, woody sweetness, and I'm thinking that comes from the chocolate and caramel, slightly mixing with the oak moss, the driftwood, the ambergris, all kind of just blended well. So it's sweet, it's sweeter than Baccarat Rouge, and it goes in its own path. This is not, listen, is not a clone of Baccarat Rouge. Is it similar? Yes. You will pick that up, and you're not going to help but to pick that up if you live with that fragrance and you're very familiar with that fragrance based on the notes. But in no way, shape, or form is this a clone. This goes in its own route, and to be honest, it has a little bit more depth, and I enjoy it more. Man. Let's talk performance. 10 plus hours of performance. Listen, I was getting 3 hours of good 3 to 4 hours of good sillage and a nice scent bubble. Then it started setting a little bit closer to skin. Longevity. When I say I was getting 10 hours, I'm talking about I'm doing this and I can smell it, not sticking it all the way up my nose. I'm talking about not trying and getting washed. 10 hours later, the juice or the perfume in this is quality. The ingredients in this is quality. So let's get to the other final part people will talk about. The price. 195 stripper ones is rather steep for some. So, is it priced competitively? Well, what something is worth. Something is worth whatever somebody is willing to pay for it. Clearly it's worth it because people in FragCom own a bottle of this that they paid their money, and we thought it was worth it, at least on a blind buy. But as far as comparison pricing, this, in my most humble opinion, deserves to be priced right around where it is. It should be priced right alongside of Mancera and Montal. You're getting that kind of performance and you're getting that kind of longevity. Man. This, with the ingredients, the bottle, the presentation, if you care about that, and the longevity and performance of this, yeah. Mancera, and I have over about 20 bottles of Mancera. I'm a Mancera fanboy. That's $180 retail. Now, I don't buy things at retail, but from a seller standpoint, consumer, it's priced about right where it should be, which is $195. So with that being said, the worst part about all this is that if this is an indication of what the other fragrances in the house smell like, or what's soon to come in the future with the house, this is going to be one to bargain with. This is going to be a house that's going to make some noise within the fragrance industry. Steven, well done, sir. Well done. Initially, I was a little upset, and you can tell by the con, and I would have probably chosen another bottle. But after having this for a while, and eventually getting the apple toffee cinnamon with the saffron and the cherry almond, I can see what you mean by gourmand. It's not sickly sweet gourmand, but it's definitely a gourmand. Man. Yeah. So with that being said, that's my honest and full review on the fragrance. Did you like the video? If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on IG. I'm a little bit more active on IG, so we can communicate a little bit more. I also do giveaways on my IG as well. Leave me a message. I'd love to see what you think of this house, if you tried it. If you haven't put your nose on the house, it's just opinions, and opinions are like everybody have them. For people who've tried it, what do you think for people who have put their nose on? Right now, they have a discovery set for $49, so $50. They have a discovery set. I'll put that discovery set link within the description. So I'm going to leave you the way I greeted you, and that's in universal language of peace, where what you like, when you like, forget the hype. You don't want it, don't get it. It's not going to be for everybody. But for me, and the type of fragrance I like, with the quality and the gourmand nature of it, this is up my alley. Peace.